Episode 313 of the Too Thick Pod. Welcome. You're home for all things sports, cards, and if we're doing our job the right way, hopefully a moment of levity. I am your captain for this evening. My name is Jeremy. I'm coming to you from Reckless Cards. I'm joined by one of the most unintelligent, however, what he lacks in brains, he makes up for in complete sex appeal. The homie from the west side of the state, Manny.
What's up? How are you tonight?
Hey, man, I'm overworked, underpaid, under the weather, unmotivated, but still better than most.
Yeah. Can't complain. Well, I mean, welcome to Too Thick Podcast. We wanted to kind of do a podcast where we're just entertainments. We're two fathers. We have full-time jobs, and we're just like, we just want somewhere where we could talk about cards and not get made fun of. So we're like, let's start a podcast and see where it goes.
You know, it's funny you said not get made fun of, and in reality, you're going to get your balls busted more here. Yep. But it's an environment of love, and so we felt like obligated the front end to just explain, like, to us, this is a passion project. As Manny mentioned, I've got 4 kids, which seems like 96, so I work a full-time job. Manny's got kids; he works a full-time job. So this is like midnight. We've already worked all day, and we're here recording because, you know, we love the sports, we love the hobby, and we love interacting. So, you know, a little bit like what we do at Reckless is we're fortunate enough to be able to make mistakes, to try things that if we had a limited budget, we wouldn't be able to do. And we like to share those. So we share the good, the bad, the ugly. Like if you peep the Instagram, you're going to see PSA 5s. You're going to see base cards that were submitted. We're going to be open and honest, and we don't take things too serious because at the end of the day, for us, it is a hobby. It's a form of escapism. It's a time to get away, have a good time, chat. If you guys can make a couple of bucks with cards, that's awesome. If one day we're able to monetize this where like Starbucks wants to promote the show, that's dope. Yep. But our pure motivation is just to talk things about hobby, be creative, have fun, shoot the shit, and have a good time.
Yeah, and what's different about us is, like you said, we find our losses fun. Like, it's a learning experience, and we want to post it on our Instagram. Like, I buy raw cards and send them to PSA, and they get like PSA 5s, and I'm like, I think it's hilarious because I'm like, what am I missing? I post it because you don't see that in the hobby. You just see people's wins. Well, you're gonna see all of our losses, and also I do want to bring this up before we get into too much. Too Thick. We do not discriminate here. Me and Jeremy are just 2 thick boys that we just called each other thick. We might start a PC of all thick related people and post it up. So that could be like one of our kind of our niches is just getting all the thick people in the hobby like Otis on WWE and just have them PC'd.
There you go. Well, I'm telling you, we've cornered the market on Dewdrop. We did a free break on Instagram one night with a bunch of wrestling heads, and it was awesome because it went like nostalgia. So people were talking about like Courtney's mom loved Ravishing Rick Rude. So it'd be like, you know, in his Speedos, just hair everywhere, doing a grind. And everybody was telling these awesome wrestling stories. Well, we pulled a Dewdrop, and everybody's like, oh, she's thick. So we went and built the rainbow. So I'm spending like hundreds of dollars buying golds. So I can just straight up own that whole thing. So again, I didn't know who the hell Dewdrop was. I'm like, I fancy myself a wrestling fan. Maybe I'm not watching Raw and SmackDown enough, but that's when we started collecting. And so again, we're going to share with you, the viewer, the listener, what we're doing, why we're doing it. And again, do your own homework. Don't listen to us. As a matter of fact, you'll probably be better off doing the opposite of what we suggest to do. But just know that it's all in good fun, and we just want to share our wins, our losses, and hopefully have a good time along the way.
Mm-hmm. Yep. We want to keep it positive the whole time. So
one thing I know for sure as we're recording is I'm never letting Manny dictate the schedule ever again because Game 3 is going on right now. NBA Finals, Celtics, Golden State Warriors. I'm trying to avoid it as if at like 1 o'clock when we're done, I'm going to go pop on TiVo and check it out, which we know is not going to happen.
No,
There's going to
not
be
at
a
all.
spoiler. But I think the Celtics were up by like 10 points midway through the third quarter. I took Golden State in 5. How about you?
I had Golden State in 6, but I did call that the Celtics will win game 3, but then that was the rest. So hopefully my prediction's right. I just think Warriors are too much for the Celtics. They won game 1, but Golden State dominated. Like Draymond said, we dominated 41 minutes of that game. They dominated them in game 2. I haven't seen game 3 since it's on right now. I'll probably check the highlights. But we had to get our episode 1 in, so we had to do it at some time. It's unfortunate. Unfortunately, it's during game 3, but the NBA Finals have been boring this year.
Yeah, I think the whole NBA playoffs, quite frankly, have kind of sucked.
Yeah.
Like there's a bunch of blowouts. There hasn't been that many competitive games. And it seems like the competitive games have always been the ones that I'm not watching. Just so happens like I'm not going to watch a game. It's going to be a blowout, and son of a bitch, it's a good game.
I've been watching the playoffs, and then when it is a blowout, I'll change it to like hockey. And I don't watch hockey that much, but man, I was getting into it. There was like, I think the first round, like 5, like every series except one was game 7. So there was a 2-day span where all the games were game 7. And that was like, I was so like interested in that rather than watching NBA, which is really random because I love basketball. It's been weird this year for some reason.
It's also been weird because like hell, Prism's not even out for basketball, and the season is going to be over by the time Prism comes out. So from like a hobby standpoint, like I don't want to rip down Russ. I don't care about some of these crappy products. It's not my cup of tea. I understand some people have to play in that sandbox, and that's totally cool. I find it hard to go and buy a Cade Cunningham Don Russ card for $100 when you know damn well when the full release happens, those cards are just going to absolutely plummet and not be worth what they're at right now.
Oh, yeah. And I guess it could be like people are going to forget about this class when they actually, because when is the draft? A couple months? Then everyone's just going to be excited for the next year's draft class. This one will probably be forgotten about. And there's so many good talent in this draft class that people are like, I think the top 10 draft picks all turned out to be really decent players for their teams. So we might get some lower values in Cade Cunningham, Kuminga type cards that you could snatch up for pennies on the dime.
Nope, I think that's a great point. Speaking of Prism, that's what we call a very terrible segue in the business is NFL Prism's out. And I know we touched on this last week, but I am amazed at cards that are considered super short print, but there's 50 of them available.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure how that happens. I just know that if I'm going to be first to go buy something and I spend 5 figures only to wake up the next day and there's 6 more posted, that would make me sick.
Yep.
Like I would understand. I wouldn't do it because I'm not a piece of shit, but I would understand how quickly somebody would be like, I'm going to return this. There's a scratch on the case.
Yeah. We're seeing, what is it? Like we were talking about it, that Thanos, Tom Brady Magna card. I see that everywhere. And every day I'm seeing another person post about it and excited. I think PSA even posted that it was the first ever graded one and it was a PSA 9. And it started off, what was it, like 30K, and now it's like down to like less than 10K because so many
7K, I think.
Yeah, so many different. It's in volume. What they need to do with these super SP cards or SSP cards. Tops needs to do it as well. They need to put like a serial number on it. I feel like it would make me want it more if that was the case.
Well, I wonder in my lifetime how many, when you're talking about tops, how many short prints or super short prints that I thumbed over or I didn't grab because I was unaware. Like if you look at the back, the serial number on the back, the last 3 digits tells you if it's a base short print or super short print. Mm-hmm. And I've got a sneaking suspicion that I've thrown away several of those cards or passed them off as commons because I just, quite frankly, I didn't know better.
Yeah, same. I didn't realize that you have to look at the serial code to determine if they're SPs or not. They need to do a different way. Especially if I see people breaking and they're going through the base card super quick. How do you can miss that so easily for a customer. I just feel like there has to be a better way with these SP cards.
Yeah, I think it's goofy. It's truly goofy. I'm of the mindset if it doesn't have a serial number on it or something that reads very clear in plain English that this is limited, this is they call it SSP and then there's 50 of them. So that's not SSP.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
And people get excited. I mean, like it's the same issue with like kabooms. I see like they have the gold, they have the greens, but the actual base kabooms, how many are there? I see them everywhere. Downtowns I see everywhere. They need a new system. Hopefully when Fanatics takes over, they can do that serial number and make the collector want the card even more if it's rare than it actually is.
Yeah, it's I think some people who don't have time or who don't have the resources could be easily turned off by that. It's like, hey, I've got $1,000. I've got buddies, and I'm sure you do too, who they don't have that kind of money. So if they see a card, let's say the manga card, they buy it only to find out. I mean, that sours their experience. And like, to hell with this, I'm gonna go put my money somewhere else. I'm gonna go to a strip club. I'm gonna go play Pogs or do whatever the hell these people do.
Exactly. It needs to change. And I mean, talk about like shit people. That just reminded me. Deshawn Watson. Did you hear about that?
Yes, my man is addicted to hand jobs or something like that. Like 66 different women.
Yeah.
66.
Yeah, it's insane. Like how I think it was like there was in a 17th month period. So that's like once or twice a week if you do the math. That's insane.
Like, look, man, I like a hand job just as much as anybody else. But if I am a professional athlete in my livelihood, I'm at a loss for words. Like, if me playing football is how I make my check, I am not jeopardizing me playing football. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, hey, Mr. Trainer or whoever, all these little turds that run around that are enablers, hey, please go find me a lady of the night, a call girl, a prostitute, somebody who knows the deal.
Yeah.
Let's make it on the up and up. Let's pay the couple bucks and let's be done with it. Because what he's paying on the back end for lawyers' fees and to shut the fuck up monies and do not talk is, I'm sure, greater than just finding some people on the front end and understanding the deal.
Oh, yeah. And I'm curious, like, NFL's in a tough spot. Let's be honest. They go through this process and let Deshaun play. The NFL wants girls and women to watch their product. They want all this, but they already had it in the past with Ray Rice. They had it with Zeke Elliott. They've had all these issues prior. They kind of have to put the hammer down on Deshaun. I don't see him playing a game. But on the other hand, if you want to look at this way, didn't the Patriots owner do the same thing and nothing happened to him?
He was, in fact, Mr. Kraft was allegedly trying to get a handy.
Well, I mean, Deshaun is allegedly too, but there's 66 or 24 women that came out.
How do you look at? Okay, so how does Trevor Bauer deals with one person and gets like what year and a half? You've got the kid who bets on one football game for his team to win.
Yep.
While he's not playing, he gets suspended for a year. But then Deshaun's out there like. And it seemed like a creep too, man. Like some of this shit's like cringy. And I highly find it suspect that 66 different women plotted to go after Deshaun. Like typically where there's smoke, there's fire.
Yeah.
And it's like these athletes who have drivers available who have unlimited money. Like the teams make like Ubers free of charge available that get DUIs. Like I don't understand what the thought process is.
They're not thinking. They were given everything handed to them as like growing up. I mean, what was he? He was like a 5-star recruit that went to Clemson, everything given to him. I don't know. They have to put the hammer down. I think if they're going to give, it was Calvin Ridley. They gave him that year suspension for betting on a parlay. Remember, it was like a stupid parlay, and it was like teams winning. But then they have to give Deshaun Watson more than that, or you're going to lose your women in the.
Let me ask you this: is Baker Mayfield a buy? And how stupid are the Cleveland Browns organization that are running this? Because you always hear like teams like, "Oh, we did our due diligence. We hired a private eye. We understand what's going on." And then he just signed that fat guaranteed contract. And can you imagine, like, oh, by the way, there's 20 more. Like Deshaun just needs to get massages. Can't keep his dick in his pants.
Well, the crazy thing is I read somewhere that the Browns actually gave him a favorable contract too. Like they can't get out of it as well. Like you would think that when they did the contract, it would kind of exclude like, hey, if there's any more, then we're canceling it. I don't think they were able to even cancel it, but I think you're right. Everyone dissed Baker Mayfield. We talked to someone at a card show, me and you, and he was a Cleveland Brown fan. He loves Baker Mayfield. So your fan base, yeah, Baker Mayfield hasn't produced, but prior to Baker Mayfield, they didn't make the playoffs. This guy's like actually made the playoffs. They ran through quarterback at like every year. They should give him a shot. He's not horrible. He's a fairly decent quarterback. And I mean, yeah, Deshaun's better, but he has all this baggage.
I maybe that bridge is burned. Maybe Baker tells him to pound sand because that's a team that's built to win right now. But you need a quarterback, and if your quarterback is suspended because he can't keep his meat in his drawers, or decides to play with himself while getting a massage, like that's sucks to be a Browns fan.
Oh yeah, I mean they lost their wide receiver core. Jarvis Landry left. Odell, he got traded. Now you're losing Deshaun Watson. I would assume a year. You would have to. What are they? They're going back to the dog pound is where they're going.
Yeah, there you go.
They're done.
You know who wouldn't tolerate that?
Who?
Russell Wilson and the Denver Broncos, who are now owned by Walmart or Sam's Club or whoever the hell bought them. What's the deal there?
So it was like in-law that bought the Broncos. The last team that was bought was the Panthers, right? Carolina Panthers, and they were families with the Walmart. Walmart is taking over of NFL. Are we going to see like at concessions the little 10 for 10 value deals?
No, you know what'd be awesome? It's like, hey man, can I get a Pepsi? Hey, we don't got Pepsi. Hey, can I get a Coke? Yeah, we don't got Coke. Well, what do you have? Like, oh, I'll get a Dr. Rocket, like a can of Dr. Rocket. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And
it's like, all right, cool. It's the quarter. He's like, nah, homie. This is Mile High. This is you're gonna pay $1.50 for that.
Exactly. I mean, I'm getting tired of seeing Walmart. I always try to go like to Target, and they're Target, Meijer, and I'm over here. I have to hear about it through sports now, and their whole family's gonna own most of this NFL. I feel like so, but you know who might take over the NFL shortly? Who's gonna start taking over? The Saudis. Did you see PGA?
I did. Before we go there, I just want to touch on, like, there was a rumor, and I don't know how true it is because my fellow Chicagoan talks a lot, but Kanye West, Yeezy had inquired about potentially purchasing the Broncos, and his president of, is it Donda Sports or Yee Sports or whatever his business is called, was one Antonio Brown.
Oh, wow.
I thought that was interesting.
Yeah.
So
we're going through a recession, but all celebrities are buying like teams. That's like the play, right? We're over here buying sports cards. They're buying teams. So and the MLS, there's celebrities on every an owner on every team. So
yeah. No, you were getting ready to talk about the live, with everybody dipping out of the PGA, and I think what would be like a real parallel is your studio is more like live, big money, nice, guaranteed. And then you come over here to the Reckless Compound, and I just have a damn pop-up banner. I'm dealing with that PGA bucks.
No, I mean, if you're a golfer, why wouldn't you? I mean, there's 8 big. So this live that we're talking about, It's owned by the Saudis. They want to start a new league where it's like 8 tournaments. And it's all guaranteed. Most of it's guaranteed money. Phil Mickelson signed a $200 million. Was it guaranteed? To come over? Why wouldn't you? And they're getting so much hate because it's the Saudis, money. But if you watch soccer, Premier League, they're backed by it. If you watch Formula One, it's backed by it. Everything is backed by something. So I don't know why they're getting so much hate, because even if you're any PGA, like, they're not paying as much. They're individual contractors. So PGA is kind of in a situation here, because if you have individual contractors that can easily go and get guaranteed money, the PGA really can't say, hey, if you go over there, you can't come back, because then they're just going to be like, all right, I want to go play 8 tournaments a year and make my money.
I think there's like some exemption where you can go play the Live and then come back for some of the majors for the PGA. Yeah. And to your point, if you really want to go down that rabbit hole, there's a lot of places you shouldn't. Like, if you're going to take a stand for Live, there's probably a lot of other businesses that you frequent that, if you're going to follow the money, you probably shouldn't be giving your hard-earned dollars to or supporting here in the States. Mm-hmm. So from a parent, a father, a husband who's ultimately responsible for the financial well-being of my family. Yep. Unless something's happening directly where I can draw those ties, like, I would have to look hard and long in the mirror to walk away from 3, 4, 5x guaranteed money than what you're getting on the PGA Tour.
Yeah. Let's have an agreement on this episode, 313, that if we ever get bought out and ask from the Saudis that we get guaranteed money, we'll be the first to go out. We'll be called sellouts. I don't care. Call us sellouts. Call us whatever you want. But like I said, you better get rid of your Apple phones. You better get rid of Google.
Your Nikes,
everything. If you're going to be like, don't watch the World Cup this year because that's in Qatar.
Man, you know what? I'm all about, like, if Liv wants to come buy us out, I'm right here. I'm here for that.
Imagine us two trying to do golf, announcing some golfs. We would probably get kicked out. We'd look like Happy Gilmore.
You'd be on card porn because we're shilling or we're pumping Liv, and we're not being fair to the PGA Tour. But
I'm excited. Hey, I'm excited. When's if they get Liv cards? That'd be dope.
We got to be first on that, right?
Oh, yeah, and I'm definitely going to get a Phil Mickelson and say it's his rookie card.
It wouldn't be his rookie card, but my man Phil, he's getting paid. I know they offered Tiger Woods like high 9 figures.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so, like, I'm interested. I am a real big believer in competition is good.
Yeah.
And I would love, like, how great would it be one day if there was like some match play where it's like the top Live golfers versus the top PGA golfers in like a skins game or something. That would be cool.
Or how about how the going, like, all the Live golfers going to play these major events, the drama that it's going to produce, these PGA guys that didn't get offered. I want to see my first PGA fight at one of these major events. At the Masters 18 hole, you have Phil Mickelson fighting someone because he went to the Live and they didn't like that.
Yeah, I think the last good golf fight I thought was like Bob Barker or Bob Uecker. Whatever, like, was it Bob Barker, Bob Uecker, Shooter McGavin, and
Bob Barker and Adam Sandler.
Happy Adam Sandler movie.
Yeah, I'm excited. I want to see it. It's kind of cool. I'm not really into golf, but this kind of makes me want to watch it just because there's kind of that drama aspect, reality TV. So it makes me want to watch it. Speaking of watch this weekend, are you going to watch Formula One? I know we love Formula One, and it's at Baku. I had to look that up. I had no idea where that was.
7 a.m., I believe, is the race on Sunday. And I'm kind of like, there's actually some drama because if you go back to the last Grand Prix, your boy, Charles Leclerc, totally effed by his team. Box. My man pulls in, and they're like, oh, yeah, by the way, you don't have to go in the pit. Go ahead and race, and just totally cost him on a track that's notorious for having no ability to pass.
Yeah.
And on a side note, shout out to Pierre Gasly, who somehow climbed up, like, I think 5 spots, which was truly incredible.
Yeah.
But Checo goes on to win. Red Bull, there's a little bit of controversy because then they re-upped him for a couple of years. Max Verstappen's dad comes out and is like pissed off that they're not doing enough to help Max win. When just the race prior, they made Checo concede position and look out for Max. And so the one thing I find out about F1 to be completely fascinating is that whole team dynamic where it's like, I don't understand. I still don't understand like the nuance of it, but it makes for great TV.
Oh yeah, for sure. And then what pisses me off about it, because I'm not a Red Bull guy, I don't like Max. I do like Checo because he's like the ultimate team player. If Checo would have won that race that he let Max win, pretty much, he would probably be super close to Max for the championship, right? If you add 25 points for first place.
Well, he'd have more points than Max would have less, so it would be really interesting.
Yeah, it'd be super close. This race, I mean, it's going to get good because they also, this year is the first year they have a cap. And we kind of talked about it before. And Red Bulls use a majority of their spending money. So I'm curious on like how they're going to manipulate their cap space, kind of like the NFL does, to be able to compete at the end races. But yeah, you forgot to talk about Alonso during Monaco, holding up the whole freaking grid to save his tires. That dude's a genius. It was hilarious to watch. Hamilton was just, every time they like went into talking to Hamilton, he's all pissed saying, I can't pass Alonso. Right. He's going so slow. And it turns out that Alonso just wanted to save his tires for the end of the race.
Yeah, I thought it was the strategy. I'm still learning. And so like just understanding when and how they box and why and like the thought process behind it. I think one thing that struck me when I was watching Drive to Survive before I ever knew George Russell signed with Mercedes was the way that dude conducted himself. Mm-hmm. And he seemed like a James Bond, or like he just had like this like very calm, cool, collective manner about him, like very confident, like, but just carried himself very professionally. And I've been like incredibly impressed. And hell, he's been Mr. Consistent, right? He's been top 5 every single race. Mm-hmm. He's had some calls where he's told him like, hey, we're going to hold off. We'll wait for the yellow flag. That, there is no guarantee that that's going to come.
No,
it's been pretty awesome to watch him. I'm interested to see from like Mercedes has won 8 straight Constructors Cups.
Yes.
Even though they didn't win the Drivers' Championship last year, they won the Constructors Cup. And so I'm waiting for them to put it together. The car's still bouncing a little bit, but I'm interested to see when both the drivers have the confidence in the car to see like who truly is like the bad mofo. Because I don't know how you go from being the top for the last 7 to 8 years to all of a sudden like Lewis finishing like top 5 would be a big deal right now.
Yeah, I mean, I think like my boy Charles, that dude, him and his team, they should be up so many points. Like if you watch every race, there's one race, I think it was 2 races ago, he had like a 30-second lead and then his battery or his engine went out.
Yep.
Then this Monaco issue with the box, he could have won back-to-back races. His car seems like it's the best. I mean, he's getting pole every time. And then something happens where Max comes out of nowhere and just ends up winning, or Checo comes out of nowhere and wins. So it seems like Ferrari right now has the best car on turns. Red Bull straightaway is way faster. With Baku, there's like a section where there's a ton of turns. There's gonna be a lot of passing. I don't know if you watched last year on 2021, but there was Max crashed, Hamilton locked up. I think Vettel.
You need to get a drink of water or something, dude. You're like, go ahead and get a beverage, man. Like, go ahead and take a sip, man. It'll be all right.
But Vettel actually made podium.
Sebi did?
Yeah, I'm just trying to think. That's why I'm like, it hurts to think.
Yeah, that goes.
Did you see the smoke coming out of my ear or something?
I did. Man.
My eyes rolled back trying to figure out who made podium last year.
So have you picked up any F1 cards recently, or are you still waiting for the market to cool down? Because I know like May, June is notoriously a time where prices tend to dip. And like, I know I've been eyeing a few cards. I was just curious if there's anything from an F1 perspective you're looking at.
Right now, I like George Russell. His is pretty low. Like you said, he's consistent. I'm staying away from Charles. He came down a little bit, but I'm only looking at 2020 too. I'm not reaching in the 2021 because everyone's rookie year is 2020, except like Mick Schumacher. So that's where I'm going. I want Russell. I like Hamilton went down a little bit because, I mean, he's like the second car for Mercedes now.
Right.
Checo's down too. So look at Checo. Everyone's high on Max and Charles right now, so I'm staying away from them. Lando is a good one. I've heard rumors that Lando, if he's put in one of these Mercedes, Ferrari, he's like one of the best drivers on the track.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm waiting to see. All I've ever heard about, like, all these great things about Daniel Ricciardo, and it seems like every race that there's some kind of issue, and I'm like, I've kind of lost confidence that he is the top tier driver that people have made him out to be. So it's going to
be ready for that. Cause I mean, I listened to the double coverage guys from Australia. They love F1. They were saying if Daniel leaves, there's been rumors that there's an IndyCar racer. He's American, that he might take his seat. If he takes his seat, he's like one of the first Americans.
That would be awesome.
On the grid. I think the hobby's going to shoot up even more, wanting that guy.
Sure. Yeah, I thought the 21 Mick Schumacher rookie cards were like a sneaky play, and I've been picking up some raw, like, good condition cards when they've popped up, just because the pedigree. He's a good looking dude. Like, you know, his dad is arguably the greatest F1 driver of all time. Mm-hmm. And eventually, when he gets in a car and gets a little bit of experience underneath his belt, I wouldn't be surprised if he takes off. And from the price point, it's not too much of a risk. You know, you're not dropping like 4 and 5 figures on these cards. So for us, that's kind of something that we've been looking at.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I mean, he was in, Ferrari, Team Ferrari coming up. Yep. So like, say Carlos Sainz isn't producing in the future, they could easily put him in there.
So we're talking about awesome cards. I'd like to show off just a terrible card that I don't know if anybody's paid attention, but there was a Jordan logo man that popped up on eBay, and the guy was asking $123,000 for it. And I was like, oh, what the hell is that? And I checked it out, and it was like a company called Jersey Fusion. Oh, and so it was legitimately an authentic game-used jersey, and they cut out the logo man. And so from the picture, I thought it was like, okay, they're creating their own cards. Like, maybe this is kind of like something like Leaf or some kind of like off-brand, unlicensed product. But I'm like, if it's Jordan game-used, that's cool. So we were at a trade night, and we got done, and we ripped a bunch of soccer, and we didn't pull shit. Just a waste of a couple $1,000 for crap. So we had a couple boxes of Jersey Fusion, and we're like, oh, let's check this out. Because at the time, there was a $10,000 bounty for the Justin Herbert Shield.
Okay.
So mind you, I hadn't done any research. I'm just thinking, like, you have these cards, and like, what the hell? I've got a bunch of them here. Let's rip them. So I rip it, and I don't know if you can see that.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay. I'm looking at it, and it has like this. It looks almost like a shadow box. You see this white right there? Yep. And I'm trying to make sense of what the hell this card is. And then something catches my eye on the back. You can see it says Top Stadium Club. And I'm like, okay, well, what the hell? Like, so then I'm like, I'm really looking at it. And what they do is they take a card. Just so happens this one was John Smoltz with the on-card auto. Bam. And they get a jersey that was used. They cut it up, and they like basically put it in a one touch. And so you're actually paying for this little napkin.
That's hilarious.
This Jersey Fusion All Sports 21 edition includes material from a jersey worn on July 19th, 2004 by the player depicted in the card. And so I was like, what a hunk of shit.
So they repacked car,
they
like
repacked.
and just cut up a sliver.
It is. So it looks like the jersey was cut and taped to the inside of the one touch.
Yeah, they didn't even put it in the car.
No, they didn't. But I mean, the case kind of like if you're not paying attention, and we threw these out on our table and like we actually sold a bunch of them.
Poor guys.
Not that people liked them, but yeah, this is a product I would not recommend.
Yeah, I mean, they're just putting glue on the SWAT.
Like we could create these, man. We could go buy like shit. Let's go buy a Kobe and let's create our own Kobe things.
Yeah.
How about this? You leave me an awesome comment in the YouTube, and we'll send this out to a lucky winner. I'll let Manny pick whatever comment makes him feel good. We'll send this your way.
They're gonna be like, you two pieces of shit. I love those cards.
I know. Unsubscribe. Yeah. Unsubscribe. I'm done. So
talking about ugly cards. Let's go. Have you those logo man Ken Golden with his triple logo man? I cannot stand that card.
It is. First off, the damn card looks like somebody was like trying to replace the patch or something like that. It's clear from when it was pulled, like to me, and I'm not very intelligent, but it looks like I don't know, somebody was like finger fucking the card, or I don't know what the hell they were doing, man. But it looks tampered with. And just like the whole thing's like goofy. Like I get it. It's that card that that we talked about that like separates you from the pack. But that card's not even like on my top like 200, man. That's like just does nothing for me.
No, not at all. I mean, it's cool. It's a Game War Finals jersey from each team he played for. Well, guess what? He had to play on three teams. I'm the type of person that loves like Kobe Bryant or Michael Jordan that's played with one team. But they'll never have a card like that because they don't have three. They're separate teams, and you can't even tell that they're on different teams. Or there's not even an autograph on the card. Why not? I don't understand. And then you have like Ken Golden going on his like international tour. I don't know if you've seen his Instagram. If you're listening on Apple or Spotify, go onto Instagram and look at Ken Golden. It looks like he's holding the card like he's in Lion King and he's holding up Simba and Times Square. It's the funniest thing in the world.
Saravena.
We should repost it and just put that sound to it and just.
Oh yeah, we'll get Courtney on it. She'll come up with something.
Yeah,
come up with something dope. Yeah, I'm actually. I can't wait for this damn thing to be done.
Yeah,
because everybody has their take, and it's like the takes are all basically the same. There's like one or two takes, and that's that. But I'm like, there's so many other cool cards that I'm seeing being pulled, or like other stuff that's coming out. That I'm truly excited for. And like one of them that dropped yesterday, today-ish, depending on where you're at, is Noir Basketball.
Yep.
And I'm always intrigued by the sneaker spotlight. There's a Lonzo Ball card that I've been looking at. It's probably consistently goes for 500. It's numbered out of 99, but the sneaker spotlight, what's really dope is on the shoe, he's got like the RIP Kobe message onto it. It's like, it's vivid, it's bright, it's bold. And so, like, that's a card we've been looking at picking up that I think that if I wait a little bit longer, I get a little bit cheaper.
Yep.
And I know a lot of people have had mixed opinions about the new sneaker spotlights. Have you had a chance to watch any breaks, or what do you think about the new Noir product?
I haven't seen it, but I have a question for you. Is that his rookie year?
The Lonzo card?
Yeah.
No.
Oh yeah, not Lonzo. LaMelo. I'm over here thinking LaMelo. But the hobby box is $2,000, around $2,000. And you could get something like a card that you're talking about where it's talking about Kobe Bryant for $500. I say with this product, especially this product, when you think of high class, like high-end products, you think of Flawless, National Treasure,
Immaculate.
Immaculate. You don't think of this product. So get the singles. Get what you want out of this. I saw you guys just had a hobby school with Yamwax, right? And he showed me this cool thing I didn't even know existed left and right. It had Luka Doncic, and you put them together, and it has like the Mavs logo. I'm about to buy that. But like that kind of stuff is really cool. I like the black. I like how it's like the black with like the some have silver ink pens. I don't know. I just think they're really cool cards to look at.
Yeah, like the old school, like Reigning Knights autos were awesome. I think they're an awesome card. Like if I had generational wealth, that
Yeah.
would be like one of the top 5 products I'd rip because I've just always thought the cards are like from cradle to grave, from your base card to your autos to your inserts have always been awesome looking.
Mhm.
But you see everything that's open because they're black and they're a thick stock. There's always edge issues.
Yep.
The corner's always kind of dinged. And at 2 Gs, man, 2 Gs.
For 7 cards.
Yeah, I did 7 or 8 cards, something like that. That's a lot of coin. And
Yep.
I've got an incredible risk, like appetite for risk. Like I don't mind losing money or breaking or buying a box, but even that product at that price point is a hard pass for me.
Yeah. I mean, are they trying to sell it? Because I mean, when 2020, there's a lot of like sneakerheads that came into the hobby, and this product has those sneaker type cards. Is that why like the hype of these cards, or just the look? I don't know.
It's capitalism, my friend.
Yeah,
If somebody's willing to pay $2,000, what's stopping you from selling it for $2,000?
that's true. Yep.
Because then next it'll be like let's say opulence, which is another like you have it's like noir only gold, right?
Mhm.
And that's another high end product where it's a lot of money, man. And it's I would love to have that kind of money to break that kind of stuff, but realistically, you're gonna lose doing that. So
You know what product came out recently that I'm actually more interested in than football Prism or this basketball product? Topps Chrome Soccer came out, and
yes,
no one's talking about it. And
yes,
I don't know. I'm more interested in that Topps Chrome Soccer. There's some good rookies in that class. I think isn't Gavi in
Gavi,
that? Yeah.
Gavi, yep.
And no one's really talking about it. You can pick up some boxes, open them up, get a Gavi rookie. That's going to be nice.
I may or may not be picking up a couple of cases tomorrow.
Want to split?
Like the person we're very very blessed and fortunate that somebody who has a healthy allocation shares with us. His one of his family members is got COVID right now, so that's why there's a little bit of a delay. So
Yeah.
hopefully Mr. Scully, you and the family get healthy real quick. But yeah, he's sitting on a lot of soccer for me, and I can't wait to rip it. Like,
Can I ride with you?
yeah, come on, man. But I think, I was looking too, like later this week, we got Top Series 2. You got Absolute Baseball, which I really don't pay no never mind to, like Panini baseball products. They just don't do anything for me. And then you've got Obsidian Football. Like, what do you think? Are any of those products do anything for you? You excited about any of them?
The Topps 2 I was until I saw a checklist. There's
Yeah.
no top end rookies in this series 2. I don't know how they're gonna. It's gonna be hard for breakers to actually break this product. There's not Adley's not in there. Bobby Witt's not in there. None of like the big name prospects that came up. I think they're all. I mean, Update's gonna be a hell of a product. They have to put them in unless they save them for next year, like they did with Wander. But there's so many good talent. Pena from Houston, the shortstop's been killing it. He's not in this product. He's not in Series 2. There's no one in Series 2. So that one I'm kind of just like, ugh, unless you're a set collector. But, I mean, nowadays you could just go buy the whole set when they all come out.
Yeah,
but
I would imagine Series 2 is probably going to be like, what, maybe 80 to 120 bucks a box.
Yeah.
So I think breakers are just like hey, $4 or $5 a team. Burn through the inventory. Or I do know like a lot of people they stash a little bit of baseball because you never know a couple years from now who's gonna pop off. So
yeah, there's a guy from the Cardinals that's actually playing really good. Yepsing or something like that. Yepes, or I forgot his like last name, but he's been killing it and he's actually in this product.
My Cubbies just lost a couple of extra inning games to the Cardinals, so
oh boy,
I'm a little sour.
It's a little sour. But Obsidian, I wish these cards take off. Actually, no, I want to buy them. The Contras, the all white.
The all white are disgusting.
They're clean. I love those cards. I want to get. It's funny because you're saying we like the black background and the white. If you could just keep it one black, one white, I would eat those cards up.
I've got a Patrick Williams on my watch list on eBay where the guy won't budge for $1,000 for the Contra. But they are just like disgusting looking cards. Like I think they're filthy. They're underrated. They have like some of the die cuts they have for soccer that are numbered out of like 8 and 6 are just they're incredible cards. And I think the Obsidian Football is going to be like right around 4 to 450. So like to me, that's with the quarterback class, that might be something I take a gamble on.
Oh yeah, let's do it. I love those obsidian. The Contras are my favorite. They also had good patches. I mean, we were just talking about that Tyrese Halliburton you picked up.
Yep.
Sick patch. So let's get a couple of those. Those are nice.
Yep. And then before next week, I've got the schedule up right here. Flawless Football will be out on the 15th. I can only imagine how much that's going to be. Upper Deck Series 2 hockey, and then Topps Chrome UEFA Women's Champion League Soccer.
Mm-hmm.
So I know like Champions League Soccer for the ladies over in Europe has been absolutely nuts. They've set some records, and I know if you follow somebody like Storybook, who does some like autographs with some like big name soccer players, that's pretty awesome what they're doing over there.
Oh yeah, of course. And then you have, I mean, I don't know off the top of my head, but there has to be some Americans that are over there playing. And you know how it is for women's national team here. It's huge.
Oh yeah.
So that's
Dennis Rodman's daughter is an absolute beast. And I know there's some like off brands for whatever league she plays in that go for crazy money because they're chasing the Rodman card.
That's crazy. I didn't know that.
Yeah. Yeah. You learn something new every day.
The flawless, I'm not even thinking of because it's out of my paycheck. So can't buy that.
You got to get some of that Saudi money, man. You got to get us sold.
Yeah, someone needs to buy us out. So poor me can buy a flawless box, right?
Yeah. I think one thing that Manny and I have really talked about that we'd like to do is we're going to do something along the lines of, and this is subject to change, where we're each going to we're going to pool in some money, whether that's 500. I know Manny was saying 7,500. That's a little too rich for my blood. Like maybe 500, $1,000. And then we're going to essentially kind of talk about on each episode or every couple episodes what we're looking at, and we're going to see prior to national. Are we going to be broke? Are we going to be 5-6 figures, or are we going to even be around? You know what I mean? And we're going to share that with you and probably take polls and let you guys, have a little bit of say. We don't necessarily go with what you say because kind of like the Electoral College. We're going to say it's democracy, but we really don't trust you.
Yeah, exactly. But they might be right.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
80% of this what we're doing is we're gonna lose all our money, but we'll get something that will I think that's what it comes down to. We'll end up buying like some cool story of like me and you fight about Patrick Williams, right? We fight. I would buy one and then you'll buy one just out of spite. That's what's probably gonna end up happening.
Exactly. Well, and it'll be fun. So what we plan on doing some breaks pretty routinely, like somewhere so Manny's a Cowboys fan, I'm a Bears fan. So if we can put something together where us as a community can go together, where we can if I'm able to get cards at an allocation where we can even get a cheaper price point, and then everybody wins, I think that would be really cool and a fun way to enjoy the hobby. Wouldn't sell spots because I know that's taboo. You're not allowed to do that sort of thing.
No, not at all. We'll be put on some page that we don't want to be put on. But I want to do to end the show. I do want to do like a question of like a conversational starter type question. And for today's episode, what is the worst mascot that you would hate, like to be named?
So there's a college called Concordia. Right?
Yep.
And they've got Colonel Cobb. And their school is the Concordia College Gobblers. And this thing looks like if they said, hey, this guy molested 17 kids, you would look at him 1 second and you'd be like, oh yeah, I see it. Yep. I totally see it.
That's the gobbler.
The Concordia Knob Gobbler, whatever the hell they created. Keep that thing the hell away from me. Hard pass. No thank you. Done. But to me, that's a no-brainer. He looks like a damn weirdo.
Yeah, no, but we're kind of on the same topic because mine is I want to take it to the hockey realm. Nashville Predators. Imagine being called the Predators. I don't know. In this day and age, when I think Predators, I think
Chris Hansen.
Chris Hansen. Yeah. So Predators is my take. Well, let's hear some comments of what you guys think are the worst mascots. There's a ton of them out there, but I think we're on the same page of like perverts. So
yeah, so make sure you do all that good stuff. Like, subscribe, leave comments, leave hate mail, the whole shebang. Again, some days it's going to be 4 hours, some days it's going to be 20 minutes, but it's going to be just like authentic, whatever we're thinking about, whatever's hip to us in that moment. And yeah, that's all I got. You can follow us at Reckless Cards. You can follow him at Manny_Flores.
yep.
Other than that, until next time, Manny's going to leave us with this outro because we got this dope Detroit music, which it's pretty authentic, which is cool. So thanks, everybody.
Before we go, you forgot to plug we're Too Thick Pod on Instagram.
I thought it was scrolling at the bottom. Okay, my bad.
Okay,
my
yeah,
bad.
I guess if you could read.
No, my bad. No.
I mean,
no, they're listening. You're 100% right.
Exactly.
I completely screwed that up.
Yeah, you
For
did.
the Spotify people, the people on Apple, the people who aren't watching on YouTube, please follow us on Instagram at Too Thick Pod, Twitter at Too Thick Pod, TikTok at Too Thick Pod _, OnlyFans Too Thick Pod, JDate Too Thick Pod, Farmers Only Too Thick Pod. How's that?
Christian Mingle, you forgot that one.
Christian Mingle Too Thick Pod _69.
Yep. All right. Have a good one. We'll talk to you guys soon.